hell are you? Spawn. You sent me to hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor. I'm feeling strange, trapped in the grave. All alone, I rot in my own skin. So see as I say, a stronger restraint. The perfect flame lays down my own name. Girls rising. Girls rising. The scars remain, a deeper disdain. A black field, lined in response. A bitter I cling to the ones that remain. Exile without reason. The time to kill us, the freedom we build this. Like someone is clear to blow. We're building the power, strengthening the arm. Yeah, building the wall. Welcome to your devastation.
People and things over there like something small.
All right, look at that. We're live. Welcome everybody to episode 26 of the Spawn Review. We are a few members short, but don't worry. Me and Paul, we're holding it down. How's it going on, man?
It's going really well. Excited. Diving into Spawn 50 throws it back to how things used to be. So
Yeah, it was interesting, going back, like we did that Christmas issue not too long ago, but actually diving into like the story of within the first 100 books. It was kind of interesting going back and just getting a feel for how the writing was, how the character development, the flow of the book was. It's so much different than it is current. It's still good. I don't mind it, but it's interesting seeing Todd evolve as a writer, because he definitely has evolved. People used to give Todd shit all the time for his writing ability, which I always enjoyed when I was younger, as much as I read, if you want to say it that. But I always liked his expansive world, and he had a ton of characters, and we kind of I forgot how many characters he had until I read issue 50 again. You get like, the granny character that was, kind of like the moral center of the universe at that time. I was like, so it's really interesting going back. I mean, what do you think when you're refreshing yourself after all these years?
I definitely think it's more simple. Like right now it's like heaven versus hell. There's so many different gods. Everyone's revived 15 times. This is still simple Spawn in a sense of like there's very few characters. They're still in that city element. Even how they depict hell.
Yeah.
In this, it's like different than how it is now. Like I feel like they really like are slowly building up to everything that is currently. And I enjoyed this issue. It was definitely something different, and it was good to reread.
What I completely agree with what you're saying. It's fun to kind of go back in the more simpler times. I love what's going on now with the story and the writing and just the in-depth aspect you have with just, heaven, hell, green world, all this kind of stuff. But going back to an era where it was just heaven, hell, it was, very kind of centered around that. I love the depiction of hell that Capullo and McFarlane did in this first 100. When you talk about issue 50, 51, and 51, 52, and 53, I think were issues that were all spent in hell with this story arc. And then going to issue 100 again, you get to see it. It's just, I don't know, the artistic depiction by Greg Capullo and Tom McFarlane, I really just loved. And it's fun to just kind of dive back into it. It actually made me want to go through like the rest of the like 51, 52, and 53, because this story arc it's a really awesome story arc. You get the cameo by Savage Dragon, I think, in the next issue or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 51, yeah.
Or 51, 51 or 52. And then you get the first throwdown between him and Malbolgia, Spawn and Malbolgia in 53, which was that was a fun book. So yeah, if you guys haven't yet, if you guys are in the chat and you're checking this out, go back and read these issues. Because this really is my favorite run, 1 through 100. I've said it before. That's still my solid number one favorite time. The nostalgia, all that, even as much as I'm enjoying the modern run.
I really have been enjoying 300 plus. I really feel like that has been the spawn. That's been my spawn, at least. Like, this is the spawn that I'm picking
Oh,
up
I feel
like
you.
monthly. I probably have like all the single issues that I'm getting monthly is this spawn run. You know, now I'm finally diving back. Like, I read all the soft covers for the first couple of I forgot what it's called, Spawn Origins. Yeah, they have those.
Okay.
You can order them on Amazon.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's good to dive back because it shows you like how much also story these characters have together. Like looking at Cogliestro and looking at him now and just all this different stuff. It's just like different.
Yeah, the evolution of the characters is, oh shit, look at that. Look at that. Look who's here.
Yeah.
He made it.
He's alive, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like garbage. Hey guys.
He couldn't let us down.
Yeah.
No,
couldn't let us. Look at that. That's professional right there. I hope you're not killing yourself to do this, man. You get some fluids.
Yeah, I
some
got
medicine.
some fluids. I went on Badgers and I was like really groggy and I was just not myself. And I'm like, I gotta show up for Joe's just for a little bit anyway. And I wanted to I had to show something off.
What'd you got?
I got something in the mail and baby.
Oh yeah.
Volume 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got mine the other day too.
Is that from like Kickstarter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got like did you get all the Silvestri covers?
Oh,
the line art and the yeah. It looks awesome.
This came with
the booth cover too.
Yeah.
I will say the only thing I'm disappointed on the booth cover is the colors. Not a big fan of the way it's colored because I've seen the line art, the black and white line art, and it's really awesome. Yeah, you got the Kyoan, a lot of Kyoan art.
Yeah. That woke me up. I was like, I got like a message from the girlfriend. I'm just like, yeah. She goes, yeah, you got a package. I'm like, a package. I'm like, oh, is that the McFarlane? I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. And I go downstairs and I'm like, open it up. It's in a big box. I'm like, why is it packed in this huge box? And so yeah, I got like tons of stuff, and it's just like it's awesome. This is one of the series I really, really loved reading too. So like, kind of ties in with Spawn. So that's why I was kind of
100%.
Yeah, no.
How are you guys doing? Sorry for being late.
No, man, I'm doing good. I'm actually finally feeling healthy. Still got a little bit of, like the sinus stuff going on, but as far as like energy and stuff, like I've really recovered from the pneumonia I had a little while ago, and just feeling good for the first time. So hopefully that sticks around.
Yeah. How are you there, Paul?
I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah, you always seem to like peak health.
Yeah.
You pop on.
That's what the gym 6 days a week does for you guys.
Yeah. I need to start doing that, you know?
A lot of sauna. Sauna works a lot. I do a lot of sauna. It's very important.
If I did the New Year's resolutions, you know, I'd be all about it. So maybe someday. All right, well, we'll see how long Jay can stick around for. But we will say hi to the chat real quick. Number one in the chat and number one in our hearts. Mark Penguin, member of the channel, says the return of McFarlane. Yeah, that was what made issue 50 very, very fun. It was the first time he had some drawing or artistic duties since issue like 20 something. I can't remember exactly, but to see him come back and grace the pages of Spawn again was definitely,
I want to say 24 or 26, somewhere around
there.
there.
It might have been around there, because that was about the time he was kind of like dipping out and Capullo was starting to take over full time.
Yeah.
Guys, Dennis Kelly in the house. Great to see you, brother. Hail the Lores here. Hail. Here on the Steadfast. Hail the chat. Hail to you. D-Wags in the house says, Gooch, Jay is the fucking man. So proud of him. Yes, sir.
Oh, thank you, brother. Always good to hear from D-Wag.
I agree. Got Duck Bacon in the house. Hail to you, brother. Thank you for being here. Member of the channel and good friend of all of ours, Rick Sailor's in the house. Pizza. Hello. Hello to you. Here's a name I do not recognize. And Ara?
Jelenian.
Correct.
Jelenian.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm horrible with names, so I do apologize, but thank you for being in the chat. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoy the show. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Who did I miss? Here we go. It's Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. Hey, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Charles Rivas, haven't seen your name in a bit. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. Void Eyes as well is in the house. Great to see you. Member of the channel, The Don. Motherfucking Joe Sonntag and Pimptastic Paul Thayer. Wow, look at that, man. You got a nickname now.
Nice. Yeah, the Pimptastic
Paul Thayer. Where the hell is Gooch? Well, he's here now.
Yeah, I'm
He's
here.
here.
I'm here.
We sent a hawk for him.
Yeah, and he showed up. We got Christopher Bouchard's in the house. Welcome, brother. Thank you for being here. Let's see. I think that's it. I think I got everybody. Okay. He says that works. Okay. We'll just go with that because I'll probably butcher it next time as well.
Yeah, we apologize. I even fuck up my characters' names.
Oh, I'm horrible at names. I'm horrible at reading in general when it comes to the chats and so I just, it's let it be known, everybody. Let it be known.
And I feel like also with this, like he has different. It's so crazy the artistic difference of like Todd McFarlane then and now. It's like the things that he paid more attention to. Like there's a lot of detail and like the structures and things like that. Like more of like the setting, and then really focusing like on close-ups of the characters too.
You talking about like with the arts?
Yeah,
for coming back after not drawing for so long.
Yeah,
I was pretty impressed, and we're gonna see his line work. It's funny because he spent so many years there inking Capullo. You can see he kind of has a little Capullo isms as he's drawing. And I don't want to say this for sure because I don't know.
Well, it says he did the pencils for all of part 1, and Greg did the pencils for part 2.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
But I want to say I wouldn't be surprised if Greg also laid out the entire issue. Because Greg had done that before for Todd quite a bit when he was coming in late there when Todd was still drawing. From what I've heard.
Cover.
Yeah. This is the McFarlane cover here for issue 50, which is the one I've got. I never got the Capullo issue. I just got this one. It's just a retread, or not a retread, but an homage there to issue 1. So I thought that was pretty cool.
I think I got the Capullo one.
Yeah, the Capullo one was pretty badass too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you got the. It's funny that Todd has his name second, even though he does part 1, but just probably giving the props there to the main artist of the book. So shout out to Todd for not letting his ego get in the way. Although I would have put my name first.
Yeah, I would have done that every single time. I think it was my letter. It was like, you don't want to combine some of these things. I'm like, no, I want them to see I do every position.
Yeah. And then you got Todd McFarlane inking the second part, Danny Mickey as well. It was just some of the best era for art with Capullo, and then McFarlane and Mickey on inks as well. And then on colors, you got Brian Hamberlin, Dan Kemp coming in, doing his thing, and Todd Broker as well. So I guess if you guys track it back a couple issues, Terry gets hit by a vehicle or truck or something. He gets hit. He's having these issues where he is kind of passing out or fainting. So the issue opens up with him being rushed to the hospital. And obviously we get the classic Todd McFarlane writing and narration. Gooch, when you went back and read this, I'm assuming you did.
I haven't.
You haven't? Okay.
I haven't had, I literally haven't had time.
Well, never mind. I was going to ask what you thought of like the evolution of writing, because we just read it's newest stuff, his newest stuff with issue 360. Now you go back to issue 50 and just the expansion, the improvement of his writing.
Yes. Todd always had I don't want to say a simplistic writing style. That's unfair. It was very safe, maybe would be a good way of putting it. It was very like Marvel DC style writing.
Yeah.
Where now he's gone into more of like, I'm not going to say I'll need Neil Gaiman after today, but he's gone into more. But I would say he's more into like more of an indie writer. Like he's not trying to be an established comic book writer. He's actually trying to be a storyteller.
I always thought that back in the day when he first started writing, even when he was writing the Spider-Man run that he did, that he was really emulating Frank Miller, like with that feel,
Yeah. Like
and I still feel that in the early Spawn stuff. Yeah.
He's like, well, Frank Miller gets in his own way at times too, where he he's trying too hard to, like, he's telling a story, but he's like trying to make it too much of a comic book story. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like that style where Alan Moore and others like that have like just told their stories, and this is what it is. But we're gonna make it into a graphic novel or a comic book. And I think Todd is kind of realized, like, I can write whatever I want. After
Yeah.
all this time, he's just like, I can write whatever I want, and let's go for it. And now I think he's having a lot of fun writing, because the storytelling is just like, it's amazing right now. Like,
No.
he's
Yeah.
always had good ideas. Like, I'm not saying he hasn't good ideas, but I think he played it safe because he was new still. He was trying to, keep this thing running.
Yeah, before you came on, I said it was more simple. Like, it's just simple compared to like
Mhm.
the things we have now is like so complex and so insane. Like even the characters.
I think that obviously you're going to improve over doing this for 30 years, but it was interesting because I just thought, after reading issue 360 of Tom McFarlane's writing style currently, and then going back and reading issue 350, it really just showed, like, I could see the growth and the contrast. Like, this issue back in the day, he was like really heavily bogged down by dialogue. Like, there was
Yeah.
so much dialogue in the early Spawn stuff, to a point, like me, I didn't like reading anyway as a kid, but sometimes I get overwhelmed with having to read so much in the Spawn books. It was just like, I'm out. I'm just looking at the art, So Hill Lore says Joe can write his ass off, but will damn near die trying to pronounce someone's name. That is the absolute truth.
Yeah.
1000%. SF Gaming's in the house. Says hail the chat and Reaper Destroyer. Hail to you, man. Great to see you. We got Kyle Prometheus says, hello, Joe M Sonntag. Spawn is hot. We like Todd's work from Hulk and Spawn. It's cool how Todd expanded the universe for Spawn and blew away the toy market. Greg's art, it rocked the house. Project Naosis is blazing hot. We back issue 5. It plays for keeps. Best regards, Kyle. Hell yeah, brother. And that's over on X. Appreciate you checking out the show, and thank you for the kind words. P.S. We like how Todd speaks comics and business talk in equal measure. Yeah, Todd's a treasure. I'll just say that. He's a national treasure.
But you know what I mean by he played it kind of like safe, like he's just kind of resorting to the old comic book style of writing.
Yeah.
Like, still great stories, and like different, like especially in the 90s, completely different from a lot of the stuff we were getting.
Yeah,
which was
100%.
awesome. But like, he wasn't really storytelling or going into deep waters with like adding the twists, adding like a lot of heavy plot, a heavy character depth. Like, everything was very either one-dimensional or two-dimensional with his characters at times, not all the time. I'm just saying at times.
No,
So
I
like,
agree with you on that.
Yeah,
I do like the fact, and Paul and I were talking about this before we went live, like, I do like the fact that if you going back, you forget like how big the cast is that he had in Spawn.
Yeah.
When you really think of the early issues, 1 through 50, 1 through 100, and just the amount of different characters he had, that's a pretty big ensemble, for a book in the 90s. It's almost like a TV series. In fact, I was going to bring up this scene here is like very like out of ER from the 90s, right? Like, he's got all the medical speak, like stat, and like, his blood pressure is 180 or 120 over 80 or whatever it is. Like, he's spitting out all these kind of hospital jargon and stuff. And to me, it was like, man, that reads like right out of like ER or something.
He probably was watching ER.
So in the book, Terry is rushed to the hospital. He's been having fainting attacks, I guess you could say. And Wanda's really worried. She runs to the hospital, to figure out what's going on. And again, I just want to go back, like, we are into the beginning of the book, and right off the bat, you get Tom McFarlane coming back and just gracing the pages again with just beautiful Tom McFarlane art. Tom McFarlane is one of the goats of the industry. Like, was he the best technical artist? No, but he could draw things in a way that was just fun, a little cartoony, dynamic, and it just had a special aspect to it. And as a fan reading the book, seeing Todd's art again for the first time in years was just an absolute, absolute awesome blessing on this book. Like I loved Greg at the time, but just getting this half of this book back, even though he does the boring half, if you want to call it that, it was just good to see Todd's work back.
Yeah.
I honestly, I absolutely think too, and I'm going to say this after reading this book again and looking at it again, I am almost 100% sure that Greg did lay this book out because it's a little bit different than Todd's normal.
Dude, that face on the bottom, looks mad goofy, but I love it.
Oh,
though.
Yeah,
I love
again,
it.
that's Todd, right?
It's so nice.
Go back to like issue. Oh, that's what I was thinking. You remember when they did the Image X month, where all the creators traded books there for a while? Silvestri did.
Oh yeah.
On and like all this, and Todd did Youngblood. If you go to that Youngblood issue, that or no, Cyberforce. What is that? Oh, now I'm confusing. But there was an issue. Oh, maybe it was the Chapel when they did the whole Chapel crossover. That's what I'm thinking of. If you go and look how he depicts Youngblood in that book when they come to pick up Chapel at the end after Spawn has his way with him and stuff, it's incredibly cartoony. But that was part of Todd's allure to it. You know, like that was what kind of drew you to him because it was different than a lot of stuff you saw. He was very characteristic. That's why, Greg coming in doing his thing kind of emulated that a little bit, but it was a little bit more dynamic than Todd was on art.
Yeah, but that was the style in the 90s because the boys were like that. Like Garth Ennis books were like that. You had so many books that had that style. It was just the times, and then Todd eventually changing his ways because like Jim Lee was booming and everyone realized like, oh, we like that Asian flair, like that little Asian flair with the art style,
manga
the
stuff.
Yeah,
no, 100%. Steve says the colors in these books, especially for the time, are unbelievable. So Brian Hamberling coming on, and then later Dan Kemp. I mean, Spawn had always one of the best colors in the business in the 90s. In this era from like 50 or even the 40s or whatever you want to say to 100, which is some fantastic, beautiful colors, especially with the greens that with nectoplasm and just different stuff they would do with green for some reason, just absolutely killed it. The Don says, I agree, Gooch. His writing is miles above Torment on Spider-Man. Yeah, it's the improvement is head and shoulders. And I still like the old stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it's way, way different, way better.
For me, it's nostalgia. I love it. I can't.
Oh, yeah.
I'm always gonna love it, even if it's
100%.
Even if it has cheesy moments. I'm still gonna love it.
Well, that's why I liked going back and reading like issue 39 when we read it, and coming back to read issue 50. And I kind of want to dip back every once in a while and do some of these older issues that were just like standout issues because it's a nostalgia fact. Like I can go right back to like when I was, a teenager or even early 20s with some of the books when they came out. It's just, I love it.
And to piggyback on the issue too, so like for anyone that never read it before, that they basically cleared Terry, everything's all good, so everyone's like all happy go lucky, and that was basically like the first couple pages that you had this sense of urgency that Terry's about to die, and then now he's not going to die, and he's perfectly good.
Yeah, it's a very drama kind of first half of this issue. It was a double-sized issue with Todd doing the first half and Greg doing the second half. And the first half is very slow-moving, very drama aspect to it. And then the second half is like all action, But this scene was interesting because you get a shot where where Cagliostro is talking to Al. And they're just kind of discussing this whole series that's been going on with Spawn and his symbiote, his costume over the last, how many ever issues has been leading up to this 10 or 20 or so. And basically kind of talking about how he was separated from the costume. And I think that happened with the issue with the curse. If I remember correctly, where he was actually taken out of his costume and he was kind of dissected. You guys remember that issue? It was like 40 or 38 or something like that.
Oh,
or
I have not read it, or I might have forgotten.
We might have to.
So long ago. I'm in a fog to begin with, so it's like good.
There was an issue where when they introduced the curse kind of they captured Spawn, they separated him from his costume, and then they dissected him because he wanted to kind of see what his makeup was and everything. And I don't know if Cagliostro was kind of talking from that point that he was separated from his costume, but I guess at this point in the book, his costume is really longing to go home, which is to go back to hell where it was created. And basically, I think in this scene, Cagliostro was saying that all of Al Simmons' rage, his anger, his sin is just feeding the costume, making it more powerful. It's eventually going to take him to hell. Am I right on that, Paul?
Yeah, that like if he exerts, and also like the exerting of the power construct, if he exerts too much power, he'll be sent to hell. And Cagliostro, right? This might be a dumb question. He's sin, correct?
Now he is, yeah.
Now he's sin.
Now he's sin, yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, he hadn't become that. And this is actually the scene where he first reveals that he was a spawn. Now, I don't know if they ever retcon that, because there's a big gap between issues 100 and 300 that I didn't really pay attention to. But
I have to go back and like.
But he says, in short, I'm a spawn. Like maybe that's just like lingo of like I'm from the same place you are type thing.
Okay.
Don brings up a good point.
Where you at, Don?
C-Spawn's voice balloon, I noticed when he lost his powers, that outline isn't there anymore.
Interesting.
Like I do remember noticing that when I was reading it, but yeah, good.
I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. Yeah, I didn't even notice that, because that was always Spawn's kind of signature voice bubble.
Nice pickup.
Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Yeah, good look.
Mm-hmm.
There's a comic about Wolverine, Blood Hungry. The style is cartoony, but awesome.
Yes,
cartoony isn't bad. You know, like it depends on what you like as far as art goes. But if a certain amount of cartooning, like Sam Keith, right? Sam Keith is got that cartoony aspect, but it's so dynamic in the way that he draws. It's just it pulls you in. You know, Todd was like that. Greg was like that.
Easily like transparency right to animation, like no problem, like from the look to look. And he really did do things simpler in the sense of like even Cagliostro's attire. It's just, you know, jacket, covered up, hat, beard. This is like, you know, one of the most powerful guys to be in Spawn books, you know. So,
and that's to me, and that goes back to, it's not the laziness, but Todd has explained it before. He's like, the reason why you have the cape on Spawn, the reason why you have trench coats, is faster to draw. It's less detailed to have to do. And you're just drawing shapes instead of like
monthly
all the muscles and stuff, you know, like brilliant. Yeah, so now we get to just, again, we're going through just kind of like the drama, what's going on with the family, with Terry's issue, with Wanda, with Cyan. And we just get a shot here of Cyan, who's still very much a baby in this series, and issue 50.
Oh man, this is so long ago.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, seeing, because now she's what? She's at least late teens in the book now.
No, she's in her 20s, man. She's
in her 20s.
Yeah, I think she's just finishing college.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder how that works then, because I was trying to, when I was reading this, I was trying to do the timeline, because Thomas Healy, editor-in-chief of Todd McFarlane Productions, said that it's been about a 10-year span from issue 1 to issue 360 or 350 when they launched it. And I'm like, well, how does that work out for Cyan's age? Because they aged her up. But if she's in her early 20s, that doesn't make sense. You're talking about a longer period of time than that.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me, because like she's an adult now.
Yeah,
he even treats her like an adult.
Is that who Misery is?
I think so. I haven't followed it, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think so. Because it was still granny and everything for her.
Yeah.
She's definitely like, I would say lowest 18, but I thought she was in her 20s when I think I read it. But
I'm pretty sure she was in her 20s.
Well, if I ever get a chance to talk to Thomas again, I'm just gonna be like, hey, can you clarify? And if not, it's just that comic, like, hey, let's just let it be. Dennis Kelly says issues 40 through 41, they dissected Spawn, ? I think you're right on that. I think that was a Curse story arc where they tore him all apart in guy's necroplasm and just, you know, chopped him into pieces. Yeah, that was some crazy stuff. So anyway, this is just kind of showing the family life, and basically you were just getting a sense. Todd is trying to show you a sense of how much Wanda loves Terry and how much Terry means to the family, right? So yeah, Terry was brought in as this kind of guy that kind of came in and basically took his family away from Al, right? Like
steal your girl.
Yeah, and he's always been kind of painted as that character. There's always been that kind of tension between Al and his former best friend Terry. But I think he's really hammering home in this scene just, you know, how much the family means to Terry and how much Terry means to the family, how much Wanda is so in love with Terry, and how fearful she is of losing him, just like she lost, Al. And so you get to see just a fun family reaction. Again, very drama filled issue, and
yeah, that she's like
very
17,
well drawn.
She's 17, 18 years old.
Is that what it is now? Okay.
Yeah, but they don't portray her like that as 17 or 18.
They portray her a little older.
Yeah, because I thought she was in college. Like
unless she's like crazy smart or something, but that would make sense because
I was in
the
college
only way
when
it
I was
works out
18.
is she's in her late teens. But I mean, it's still kind of funky because here she can't be more than like
2.
Yeah, and so 10 years would only make her 12. So there's still some funky timelines there. So this is where he's in the hospital. They ran some tests. He's waiting for the results, and the doctor comes in and basically gives him the really, really bad news that they found a pretty large tumor in his brain. And it's shocking to everybody. Obviously Wanda is really, really devastated by the news. Terry's asking how long. It's like a matter of months that he has to live. It's Cyan has no idea what's going on. She's just a little kid, like happy to see her dad, wanting him to come home. It's an interesting, fun contrast between the devastation and stress, anxiety of what's going on with Terry between the parents, and then just the innocent child aspect of Cyan. So again, I think it's really good writing. For as much as people want to say whatever they want to say about Todd, much like issue 39, like I thought it was very good dynamics here with the drama aspect of the family.
Oh yeah,
it made you like feel for it, like you like know that Terry is fucked,
Right.
So like, and they do portray him though as kind of like a piece of shit for stealing Spawn's wife and like blaming him for it, kind of. So
yeah, Todd's always been a good writer, a great
Yeah.
writer. It's just like there's
Great.
when you talk about a difference from that time to now, there's a dramatic difference in his style of the way he's writing. So
Yeah. And I think probably what he's improved on the most is the dialogue, because some of the dialogue could be cheesy back in the day.
it's the deliverance. It's just the way he delivers it.
Yeah. We got Michael Pritchard in the house. Hey, dudes and dudettes, Major League butt kicking is back in town. Hey, brother, good to see you. So yeah, this again, they just really play on the dramatic aspect of this, and they even say in the scene that Wanda kind of holds it together, and then when she gets home, she collapses. Really just kind of playing that emotion and showing like how much this is affecting the entire family.
So that
like,
crinkly chin.
Yeah.
Zoom into that, dude.
I can't.
Down a little bit.
I don't know if I can zoom.
More. Look at that neck.
The
dude.
granny, the granny goodness. No,
Fucking Jabba the Hutt.
Oh, Todd was great at drawing fat people. Todd. Dude, I really think Todd loved drawing fat people. He had
Billy
a lot
Kincaid.
of fat characters. Yeah, Billy Kincaid. I mean, even in Spider-Man, there would be fat characters. Yeah, but like it's just he's got those rolls on top of rolls. So I don't know how long it's been since he saw Granny in this conversation. It seems like it's been a few months since he's visited her, and this character always reminded me, and I swear, I doubt I'll ever have a chance to interview Todd McFarlane, but if I ever do and this question pops in my head, I want to know if this character was based on that black woman from The Stand. You know what I'm talking about, Jay? Remember the old the miniseries, The Stand?
Yeah.
King?
Oh my god, dude!
She was like essentially
God.
God.
Things like they're so far away, and I'm like sick. So like I'm like
sorry.
like
Paul, did you ever see that? The original in the 90s?
Yes,
I know you're younger than us, but
I remember what you're like. Yes, I totally remember it. But it's just like I'm like mother. Like
no, there's no way I know what that is. I wasn't even born yet, probably.
Well, yeah. See, there's a character, and she basically plays like the God character to the devil character. I can't remember his name in The Stand, but she's the old black woman, and she's like always on her porch.
Yeah,
and every time I see Granny, she's like always on, and I feel like that was a popular show, it was a popular miniseries. I was like, I wonder if Todd was heavily inspired by that.
Yes, I guarantee. Well, even ER, like because those were big,
right?
Back
yeah,
then. There were big shows back then.
And the whole thing too is like Granny's blind and she knows that Al's there before she gets to him.
Yeah, she's like clairvoyant or whatever you want to say. Like she's got like this sense of things, and she thinks. So if you guys don't know, this whole entire time she thinks Al is actually an angel.
Yeah,
and she doesn't know that he's essentially a demon come back from hell. She's very religious, and she thinks he's a guardian angel that has come back. So every time she visits him, they have good conversations. She even says in this scene, like, you used to make me laugh all the time, because she's noticed a change in Al Simmons' attitude over the last little bit, as he's kind of falling into like this anger and rage and stuff that we see him in over the last 10 or 15 issues. But he gets the news here that Terry is in the hospital, which he didn't know at the time. And she's basically saying and almost asking him to do something, because she thinks he's an angel and has the ability to do something. But she knows they were friends when Al was alive. So she's basically asking him to go to the hospital and to help Terry. And that's a conflict with Al, especially at this point in time.
Well, can you go?
Yeah.
The hat he's wearing. Do you know that French Quebecois hat he's wearing? You know why you put
the fleur de what's it called?
Fleur de lis.
Yeah, fleur de lis. Thank you.
Yeah, you know why he's wearing that hat?
No.
Because Todd's a huge sports fan.
Oh, is he a Saints fan?
No. The Quebec Nordiques.
Oh, okay.
left Quebec and went to Colorado. That's a kind of like, that was the year they left Quebec and they became the Colorado Avalanche, and that's
Oh, that's a hell of a tidbit.
That's a little Easter egg. That's why he's that Tony Twist.
I would never caught that.
Yeah,
I just referenced it to like the Saints or something, but yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah,
wrong color, I guess. Yeah, great point, man. Mother Abigail. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yes.
Mother Abigail on the stand. Yeah, see, people know it. People know the reference. Carbon Dioxide, member of the channel, is in the house. Great to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us.
Because I think he started doing figures just around that time too.
Oh, for the
the hockey toys, right?
Yeah,
the hockey figures. Yes,
great point. Great insights. Love it. All right, so later that week, so there's been some time passage that Terry's been in the hospital. There's been some days that go by. This is later that week, so he's progressively getting worse as he's in the hospital, as this cancer is overtaking him, and obviously he's already injured from the crash that we talked about earlier. And this is just it's a sweet scene between the two, and while they're having this kind of conversation, Spawn is basically, he's witnessing all of this at some point, and he remembers, as much as he's had a run-in with Terry in the issues he has with him, with being with his wife and her having a child by him, he remembers, one, his love for Wanda, which has been the biggest thing this whole entire time, and he remembers that he also said that he would always make Wanda happy, so this is okay, sorry, I might have jumped ahead a little bit. This is the wrong scene. But when he comes back,
he's like pleading with himself, like what to do, what not to do. And, she just sees her in misery and decides, that he needs to make a difference, even though he's like the bad guy. And the whole point too of the subplot of the story is that he's not supposed to use his powers.
Right.
Supposed to use his powers.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
And clearly removing cancer and fixing his neck takes a lot of energy out.
And I just read a little bit of this while we were looking at it. I forgot that there is a conflict here. He's talking like, why did he come? Did he come to gloat? Why did he save Terry? Way back in issue 24 when he saved him the first time. And like Paul just said, like, he's not supposed to use his powers. And Spawn kind of leaves with this kind of question: is he going to help Terry? What's going to happen? And then right after that, Terry goes into pretty much, no going back zone. He's on a ventilator. This is pretty much it. He's in a coma, and it's looking pretty dire for Terry at this moment. And I think this is getting back to the scene I was talking about like, this is kind of like the scene that really kind of remembers. Spawn has this whole monologue here where he just kind of remembers what he promised to his wife, to Wanda.
I forgot about this book.
Yeah. In this, I mean, it's a great scene because he's wrestling with what he should do. Like, I doubt he really wants to save Terry, but he's going to do anything for Wanda. He came back from hell for her, for the love of her, and he knows that by her losing Terry, it'd be just another husband that she lost. It's going to be devastating to her. How's she going to handle it? And ultimately, he's going to make the sacrifice. If he's going to go back to hell anyway, he might as well use his powers to make her happy. And the word forever keeps coming in. Like it says, the one word that continues to haunt him is forever. And it just repeats over and over in his mind, forever. And so in that aspect, we end this first half with Terry kind of regaining some consciousness here. And I think this is a really cool scene where he's reaching up to like the Spawn character, which he's had some interactions before with. And he just kind of slowly starts to tear away at that shoelace that was holding Spawn's face together for so many years or so many issues as he's healing him. And I just love how this ends right here. Like this interaction, this realization where he's just like, Al, and he's like, I used to be, and then boom, he heals him, all this green necroplasm going all over the place as he's bringing him, basically saving his life. That's a fun scene. It's a good scene to end this and to hype it up going into the second half here where we're about to hit some major action.
Yeah, I really digged it. And you could see like from the green exertion, like he loses a lot of that power. And I don't know how he knows it's Al though. Like he touches the shoelace and he goes, those are my favorite pair of shoes. Or how does he know that it's him? That was the only thing I was confused about, but super cool scene. Like it's like, it's like I'm Batman,
Right. Yeah. Like, cause you can't tell by his face, obviously, because he's so charred and everything.
And it's in half. And it's in half too now. He pulls the shoelace
and
he knows it's him.
My biggest thing
is the energy connects them.
I was just gonna say it's gotta be more of like, just like a psychic kind of feel, psychic's the wrong word, but just like this feeling. Like, he just maybe in that moment he just kind of recognized Al for Al, not necessarily what he's looking at, and he just realizes that it's Al. That's the most I can come up with, besides it just being a cool scene.
And as he's doing that too, like they were saying that he was brain dead and everything. So like a lot of things wrong. Brain dead, cancer, not coming back, touches the shoelace, and here we go.
Yeah, he basically just brings it back to life, Yeah. That's basically what happens in this scene.
I love that last panel too of like him like looking completely different. Like clearly, like my opinion, like they were making him like goofy and now he looks like serious and like jacked up and ready to go.
Jay.
Yeah, I really apologize. I need to get to bed. I am
get some rest, man. Get some medicine, man. Drink some water, sleep this away.
I wanted to come on because I love your brother and
I love you too.
Thanks, Gooch. Thank you.
You too, Paul.
I really appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, chat. You're in good fucking hands with Joe and Paul. These guys are fucking amazing. So enjoy this. Nothing but love and stay Gucci, everyone. Take care.
All right, brother. Feel better, man.
Yeah. Next week.
All right, definitely. There goes the Gooch. I hope he feels better. Everybody give him well wishes and prayers. He's feeling pretty rough, but he spent a little bit of time to jump on. That was, that shows you the professionalism. We got links below. If you guys haven't yet, please go sub to his channel. It's blowing up. Over 20,000 subs over there. Has great content. Of course, he joins us here every Monday at 9 o'clock. So here's the miracle part of it. They go through the scene where there's, there's someone yelling, help, help. There's a flat line in Terry's room. They're all like, grab the whatever, code blue, stat, do all this stuff. And they're expecting to go in there and have to save Terry's life. And there he is standing perfectly healthy, but holding Wanda, who has passed out from everything that just happened, So he's cured. Everything's good. That ends part one on a happy note.
The last panel, they won't find any clues, and it shows the fucking shoelace.
Yeah, they won't find any clues except for the shoelace.
Yeah, so I think it really is night and day difference. Like, great book, Like, if I could just grade part 1,
Yeah.
I honestly think 9 out of 10. It has no
That's
action.
fair.
You know me, I need my action to survive. But it told a great story, and it was amusing, and I thought the art was great. And it's great to go check out this issue 50, and anyone that hasn't should grab it. And is this like mid-break cover? So like I didn't get the issue. So like
No, the issue just goes seamlessly to the next page.
to the next one. Got it.
This is, I think, on this digital version is just showing because now we're going into Capullo's part of it. So I think we just get a shot of Capullo's cover. But I don't think if I remember correctly, the original book had this little, intermission where you got to see Capullo's cover, which is badass, by the way.
Now, this is him instantly being sent to hell now.
Yeah, now his powers are done. The whole power meter and everything that we've kept track of for over the last 49 issues is exhausted, and everything that they always said would happen is happening, and he is now being sent to hell. And we got Greg Capullo taking over on art duties here. And this is a interesting kind of cool sequence of this character as he just falls into this descent into hell.
Yeah, it's showing all the characters, all his villains that he faced previously. They got Angela in there, right? That's Angela.
Yeah, you got Angela, you got Cagliostro, you got the Curse, Tony Twist, you got Jason Wynn, the Freak is up there at the left, the Violator.
Yeah,
quite a bit. Yeah, just rammed in there. Like it's pretty. It's almost like as he's falling, his cape's making this shape and everything, but you're kind of getting like this. I don't want to say flash before his life before his eyes kind of thing, but just everything he's gone through since he's been back on Earth is kind of just coming back, and he's getting glimpses of Wanda.
It's the evil that's bringing him, right? Like that's all the
evil.
So
Cagliostro early in the issue warned him that his rage, his anger, his sin was fueling the symbiote or the costume that would send him back to hell if he used his powers. And up to this point, he was going on a killing spree. You remember that throne he had in the alleyway that was just a bunch of dead bodies that he would collect or that the costume would collect, but he wasn't holding back. There was a lot of death that was going on around L for the last, little bit. And all that stuff, all that evil, all that sin was feeding the costume. And as soon as he exhausted that powers, it's just like, boom, one-way ticket straight to hell, straight back to hell.
Yeah, and very different on how we've been depicting hell recently. You could tell, it's a different approach from how they do it, and it's still very effective, and it's really cool. It's big swings. It's big swings for sure, like to do this.
Yeah, I always liked the way they depicted hell, like Capullo's version of hell, or even McFarlane's version of hell, if going back all the way to issue 8 with the Billy Kincaid story. I always liked that version. Not that I don't like the versions now, but it has a little bit more of a clean fantasy feel to the newer versions of hell than this was more like, I don't even know what you want to call it. Dark fantasy, I guess. I'm not sure.
Steve said, speaking of Angela, you think Todd is going to try and make a play to get her back from Marvel in light of the Neil stuff? No, I think she's coming out in the Marvel Rivals video game. That's what
is she?
I saw a rumor that she was one of the characters. That could be bullshit, but I've been deep in that game, and I could see it. They need a female character. They need someone that looks good, that especially from like Asgard, unless they did Sif or Sif. I don't think Todd would ever get him back. He has the new Angela.
Yeah, he's got the new Angela and not Angela Lyra character, I think, is the replacement. But yeah, that's not, with all the stuff that's going on with Neil, I don't think that's going to affect anything with that character, because I think Neil actually sold that character to Marvel. I don't even think Neil.
Yeah, it's their character. They have miniseries. They can do whatever they want with it.
So unless Todd's going to Marvel and making some kind of deal, which, could happen, I guess. I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
But and it should. I'm just going to jump on board. It should happen because Marvel ain't using that character for shit. I'm sorry. Angela hasn't done a damn thing since they brought Marvel on. Nothing's special, Bring that character back to where she belongs in the Spawn universe. That would be my move.
I'm pretty sure he sold it for a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it would probably cost a lot to get her back. I mean, I
And
can't
back then
imagine.
too, that's like quadruple the money now.
Yeah, I can't
Like
imagine
even if it
Marvel's
was
just
a
gonna give
hundred
him a deal.
thousand or whatever, it's like wow.
We got
And I
Phil
love
Diaz
this
in the house. Hail, brother.
bottom panel of Violator, like right under that. I love that
Yeah,
close up with
sick.
the teeth
So
and the
wicked.
gums. Sick, Capullo, McFarlane 101. I really like that one.
I loved back in the day, like how McFarlane would depict some of this stuff, like the sharp aspects of the lips. Like there's no smooth corners there. It's just like this sharp evil, just and then the gums, the amount of gums and the crazy amount of teeth, like just wicked depictions of the clown. Basically, in the scene, the clown senses that Al is, or the Spawn is sent to hell, and he's all excited at first. He says, "Holy herpes, he's gone." Todd, I love it. And he's all
Definitely
excited.
different dialogue. Like even now, like Violator was so different compared to where he is now from like
For sure.
300 on. It's like here, it's like you get those Joker vibes and those comedian vibes.
100%.
Now he's like that scary motherfucker.
Yeah, they kind of went away from that after a while. Yeah, he was definitely more of like the Joker feel to the clown character.
Even how they change his balloons, like even the wait a minute and the eye, and like anytime he curses, they make it like comedic,
Yeah, yeah. Hill Lewis says, I don't think Marvel will ever let Todd have Angela back, sadly. Probably not. I can dream, but probably not. So the clown was all happy at first because he thought he succeeded in sending Al back to hell, but then he realizes that he wasn't the one that did it, and that Malbolgia will probably just end up getting, in a century or two, a brand new human to be the next Spawn, and that defeats his whole purpose of trying to get the children of Malbolgia to be the true, spawns or the leaders of Hell's army. Which brings me back to the Violator series that just came out, which kind of retcons all of this, that makes the Violator the original before Malbolgia. And in here, he's saying, like, we're the children of Malbolgia. I don't like that. It's just continuity-wise, that bugs me, because the miniseries, and again, people have said it before, the miniseries is a telling of the story by the Violator himself, so it's not necessarily true. I got to keep that in mind, I guess, but
nah, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't be. I don't think it's that that deep with that. I think they just made that story, and then now that's it.
Yeah. So to me, it's a little bit of a retcon, and it's we'll see how it plays out, but okay. So we get back to the hospital. This basically the doctor lets Wanda know that it's a miracle. Terry's basically healed, 100%. The cancer's gone. He's healed from the crash. Like all this kind of stuff. They can't figure it out, and Wanda wants to tell him herself, but I don't get this bottom panel. Like, is this supposed to be like Tears of Joy? Because it looks a lot like something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's kind of sick. Like she's so overexcited.
Yeah, like that's a lot of. I first saw that and I was like, what did her and the doctor do in between that scene that she would just have that all over her face? Any case,
yeah, that's crazy.
Any case, she gets back home and it was a big surprise party for Terry and all this stuff. So everything's going good in Wanda and Terry's life right now because of the sacrifice of Spawn, who is now fully engulfed in hell. And we just kind of get a shot that his sacrifice was not in vain. Like everything is going good, but we do get this kind of haunted, I don't know if a dream or just feeling that Terry gets, that he remembers while he's sleeping. He gets a shot of Spawn and he remembers it's Al. So boom, again, back to, the dreams are coming back and repeating in Terry's head that was Al that he saw. And that's the first time I think the recognition of Al actually saving him. And then he goes and has this conversation with Granny again. She basically confirms that Al is alive, that she sent Al to save Terry. And then that's who he saw at the hospital. So kind of just going full circle, putting a pin on that.
He's already connected from the plasm.
Yep.
And I do love that whole page on how he breaks everything down. It's definitely, like I said, very different, big risks. And I think the kid looks a little bit older now for some reason, but that's just style of drawing.
That's probably, between Todd and Greg, that, it could definitely be.
But Terry's like spot on.
Matt says a lot of orgies in issue 4. Guess Violator goes both ways.
No.
I have not read issue 4 yet, so I don't. That's not
Because that's what
Good news.
everyone wants in a Violator comic. Lots and lots of orgies.
Yeah, and going and swinging both ways, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Matt
Doubling
LaRock
down.
says it's how the kids sweat these days. Yeah, I love this page. It's a good page. McFarlane's art, yeah. Well, we're into Capullo's art now. McFarlane did the first part, the first half of this book, and now we are fully into Capullo taking over the second part, which is part drama but mostly action. Because now, after it's kind of confirmed, Terry's figuring out what's going on. We jump back here, and Al is breaking through. Spawn is breaking through into hell, and it's just a fun depiction of him coming through and kind of like this fire light aspect of hell, just bursting through, and hitting the ground, and just boom, here he is. He's in the place he's been trying to avoid now for 49 issues, and just full on you can tell his suit is just, it seems like it's excited to be home. The chains are going all over the place.
Yeah.
And here we go. This is what you're talking about, Paul. This is what I used to like the depiction of Capullo's depiction, McFarlane's depiction of hell was just, it was interesting visuals. I just really enjoyed the visuals of the early versions of hell.
Yeah, it's really nice, especially like I like how it's like you don't know where it's going, and it's kind of like that icy on top. Like it's still very mysterious. Like they're bringing you into this world, but they're not giving you too much. Like they're just showing you basically the passage.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he's in a different layer, like that's, if you guys if you go back and read issue 50 and then keep on reading through issue 53, he goes through different layers of hell and different, tortures, I guess you could say, but he goes through some stuff.
Levels.
Levels. There you go. Thank you. He goes through different levels of hell, and you get to see different depictions, different characters that exist within hell as well. So it's definitely a fun read, but it's like instantly as he gets to this level of hell, he starts getting attacked by these creatures that I guess feed off of necroplasm. And so as soon as a necroplasm character or person that comes from like Malbolgia's 9th level shows up here, they are instantly on it because it's food for them, So like all the characters on this level, or all the people on this level start, well, monsters, demons, whatever you want to call them, start just coming after Spawns. First they're small, and then they keep getting bigger, and he's just starting like right off the bat in the fight for his life. And you get all these really cool, interesting monsters and really fun designs. Like it's really some really cool stuff. Pinning his costume down.
Yeah, one of its kind. I like all the monsters, especially a little more down from the cape on the next page when he's getting like pulled into the ground and he's getting pulled into the ground. Those monsters are really cool too. How they do the close up and then they exert back as he's like leaving, going down.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It takes a lot of imagination to think of something like this. Like how
100%.
Now it's pulling him into the hole, and now the hole is these other demons that are pulling him with the bugs. It's like it's really cool.
Yeah, this had to have been really fun to draw. Probably to write as well, but for Greg to really draw all this, because you just really let your imagination go and let loose with all the different designs of monsters and demons that you can draw. And yeah, it's just a fun depiction of just showing like how Spawn is getting overwhelmed as soon as he gets to hell, like all these demons, and they're just all these crazy different designs. He is legitimately in a nightmare and about to be devoured, and just that's it, ripped apart.
Hello.
Shout out to Corey Barden. Yo, brother, good to see you, man. Look, I mean, I just love the depiction here. Like all these little fly hornet demons are just like starting to just rip him apart on his face. He's just getting overtaken. And in this point, it's interesting because Todd almost sets it up that Al is kind of giving up, right? Like almost kind of thinking like, this is, like, is this what I deserve? Like this is kind of my fate after everything I've done, blah, blah, blah. Being a little, I don't want to say emo about it, but almost kind of like self-defeating, where it's just like, I'm going to let it happen, kind of giving up on all this stuff until, oh man, this is just a wicked design.
Yeah, that thing's really cool too, with the legs and the
Yeah.
squigglies, and it's just disgusting. Because, like, so many people go demons and they do like the full body torso and they look like humans.
Right.
It's like what they're doing here is like awesome. And like I said, this is I don't remember what year this was, but it's still like early for like a lot of stuff like this, where this is really like huge for like an indie comic to do something like this.
Oh yeah, definitely. The designs are out of this world. Like very, very, very awesome. Steve says Capullo and McFarlane's versions of Hell is very similar to Hell from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Good movie, by the way. Good movie. Greg Capullo's was the best on Spawn and Haunt. Yeah, this was some of his best work. It was my favorite work, you know. A lot of stuff he did after Spawn is good. Don't get me wrong. The Creature was great, and this early Spawn stuff has been fantastic. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Yeah, we're getting to the crux, the coup d'etat of the issue 50, where they're really starting to kind of take him out here. And I love this. Just he gets pierced in the eyes, just wicked scene. And then you get this tongue just ripping his face off. And that was the whole thing. Like everybody, when we were getting into this issue, that was the selling point that Spawn was going to get a new face. Because at this point, you had the original Spawn face, you had the shoelace face, it was still one of my favorites. And this was, he was getting his first face, or his first facelift, I guess you could say. And we get to see that here with just everything he's doing. Before he does that, though, he finally does stand up for himself. He finally does get pissed off, and it's like, I'm not going down like this. He's in hell, might as well use his powers, nothing to save anymore. And he basically blasts just the shit out of these characters with his necro, whatever you want to call it. And I guess it says something where it says something like it turns
100 miles.
100 miles. Yeah. Turn the sky green for like 100 miles with the amount of power. That just kind of shows you the mass amount of power that his character actually does have.
But this character too, the demon, is still good. It's like right back up, like ready to roll,
pissed
off. And then they hit you with that awesome splash page.
Yeah, it's coming up here. You get to see the Capes fighting back, and he's still kind of getting thrown around. Yeah. And then here we go, the debut of Spawn's brand new face. And again, wicked. You went from basically charred face held together with a shoelace, and now you're straight up just everything's been ripped away. Borderline skeleton, rotted, just one of the most wicked faces that Spawn ever had. And this splash too, when the reveal in this book, the turn was great, and just the overall splash was just wicked. The art is fantastic. Shout out to Greg Capullo, Mickey Hamberlin doing the colors, Dan Kemp. Yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, damn, like that was insane. I couldn't believe it.
And I also really like the lettering more today than it was previously. Like, I know it's digital was new and stuff like that. But yeah, that's my only like little pet peeve from 90s to now. But this face shot is like amazing. Like, this could be a cover right now and people would be grabbing it.
I didn't mind the lettering back then. To me, it just screams comics, and especially the 90s, the age that you were in, or that we were in at this point, you know. So there's something about it I still very much like. But the lettering nowadays, it's fantastic in the book. Same guy, I think. I still think it's Todd Tom.
I think it's the same dude.
Klowski, and I want to see whatever his name is.
When he loses this power, does these bubbles go away? I really want to.
Yeah, since Don brought that up, I need to go look at that. And when his powers come back, are they going to bring that bubble back? Like, that is interesting.
Oh, we'll know in 361.
Yeah, a couple weeks when that comes out. So finally he's done. He just kind of impales this monster just with this great scene, just taking him out with his. I don't even know what that is.
It's just like
something broke off from hell. Yeah.
Because if you look at it, it's like faces, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he gets thrown into it before the splash page, and it breaks off, and then he uses it as a weapon. So they did show it break off.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There it is.
Yeah. Right in the bottom.
Some kind of pillar. Oh, that's what it was. It was this thing that was, they kind of wrapped him all up, kind of this earth-like. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Kills this character in a brutal way, lets out like this scream that is unrecognizable, by any mortal man or anything. It's just primal, just Spawn yell. And then like that, boom, he's gone, just blinked away onto the next thing, which you will see if you keep on reading issue 51, which is very fun. And we get this kind of cool wrap up. Basically, Malbolgia says, what does he say? He goes, perfect. I went just as I'd planned. My little Spawn has just picked up his first of his new gifts, unknowingly, of course. A few more pieces and my Grim Reaper will be ready. Enjoy the next level. And that's exactly what we kind of go through. when we go the next few issues where he's going through different levels of hell, different kind of test trials, whatever you want to call it. But then you get this really creepy wrap up where you see Cyan at her birthday party, and there's the clown
Yeah.
handing her a balloon, and it's just like, bye bye, I'll see you soon. You know, that's
Great way to end it.
Yeah.
Super cool design, and it's a great issue 50 for any book. So
yeah, 100%. Overall, I would give the book a 10. You know, yeah, I'd give the book a 10. Like this, they nailed it on the seminal issues, right? You know, obviously issue 1, 25, 50, 75, 100. They just had a really good job of hitting those big numbers and making the book special and the story good and compelling. And boom, now we're set up for the next story arc, and you're extremely excited. You know, you got the new face, he's in hell, what's going to happen? Just perfect way to end it off. And then back at home, you almost see seamlessly the danger that the Simmons, or not the Simmons, the Fitzgerald family is possibly in, with the clown paying attention to them now fully, you know. Just, yeah, very well done. I was extremely excited about this book. It was fun to go back and read it. Everybody in the chat, if you guys haven't read this before, go check it out. It might be hard to find the actual issue in print. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But there's a lot of digital versions out there you can find as well. But pick it up, read it, and then go and read issue 51, 52, and 53. Because this entire story arc leading up to 53, where he faces Malbolgia for the first time, hand-to-hand combat in hell, and then that sets up another arc going forward. As you will see, it's really can't miss. This is some very fun times in the era of Spawn.
yeah, I would like to give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 all around.
Hell yeah.
Definitely think it's leveled up and it's good to go back. I definitely think we should check out more of these older issues, because it's great storytelling, and it's good to putting this content out there and showing people that Spawn's kick ass. You know, get your Spawn from your local comic shop. Otherwise, yeah, get it digital.
Yeah, I think I've been enjoying going back and looking at these old issues. I definitely would like to do that more. We were talking last week that I do want to get into the animated series at some point here, but I kind of want to do that in a chunk. So we might do that after issue 361 comes out, so that we don't have to interrupt anything. So next week, you know, I don't know what we'll look at next week. I know we've talked about issue 100. Oh, we can do that.
Gunslinger 38 is pretty cool. And that it ties right in with the that power aspect I was talking to you about, of where Gunslinger's at. 100's really cool too. I'm down to go to 100. 100's nice as well.
I was just gonna say, like, I might be into doing issue 100 might be fun after doing this issue, because that puts
a big jump like that.
Yeah, and that puts the cap on the Capullo McFarlane run. You know, that the seminal issue 100 was fantastic, and it's some of Greg's best work, and it's all Greg Capullo. The story is great in it. You know, what they do with the characters. You know, it's the last appearance of Angela. A lot of things happened in that issue that really set Spawn going up in the future, but it really was kind of like the end of an era with that issue 100. So yeah, maybe we'll do that. Yeah, I might definitely jump into that. Before we get out of here, though, guys, we do have creators on this channel. Paul is here, creator, writer of Project Naosis. Go check it out. I got links below. If I got any mods in the chat, please drop this in. 19 days to go. Let's go.
Yeah, this is our second chance campaign for our Project Naosis episode 5. But since we're putting on Film My Comic for the first time, we have all of our catch-up tiers, so you can get all the previous issues, which are collected in a trade in our newest single as well. Or you can just try Project Naosis episode 5, where our main supervillain for the first time ever is taking on the super enhanced team of Project Naosis. There is no multiverse or do-over. Super action-packed and stellar artwork. You're getting great artwork all around. And only $10 for a single issue. You can't beat that.
Hell yeah. Yeah, some great prices, guys. Definitely check it out. Check the links below. Fantastic book. Highly recommended. I have my book, Reaper Destroyer, is out right now. We are in the midst of fulfilling.
How many you fulfilled?
Out of the 1,260, let me look before I bring you on the screen. I don't want to dox anybody. I have fulfilled so far. Give me an updated. I'm gonna refresh. 175 out of the 1260. So it's getting
There
there.
we go.
You know, it's
Almost
a
there.
slow process. You know, it's a lot of work, but we are working on it steadily. I just did a bunch of destroyer tiers that I'm going to be sending out tomorrow, dropping tracking numbers. So if you guys haven't yet, check your spam folders. That's probably where the tracking numbers are going to go. But you will get them as soon as they are posted up and ready to be sent out, and I will send them out as soon as I get a chance. Me, my wife, and my mom are the ones working on fulfilling this and getting this out. But if you like Spawn, if you like the darkness, you like these like dark anti-heroes, spiritual warfare aspects, you're going to love Reaper Destroyer. It strives to be different than Spawn as far as this is not a heaven versus hell book, but this is very much rooted in the supernatural life or aspect of a character, about a man who's trapped inside a supernatural suit of armor inhabited by the ancient spirit of death, who is trying to possess his soul in the fight that those two have to control the certain armor they're in. The issue is going to come out, or the issue is coming out once it's fully out. We're going to dive more into the actual story of what it is, because there are some twists in there. People that have already got the book, that have read it, you know what I'm talking about, that really set up issue 2, and I don't want to spoil anything. So once that's out and everybody's had a chance to read it, we're going to dive into exactly what is going on and where we are going from here, because issue 2 is going to be fun as hell. I got to tell you, the direction we're going with this book kind of changed a little bit as I was writing it. I kind of got influenced by the current Spawn series that we've been covering here on this channel, and I had a different avenue. I was like, I had a same kind of concept of what I was doing, but a different way to get there, and I think it's gonna be really awesome. So if you guys haven't yet, check it out. Reaper Destroyer, links are down below. Everybody, thank you for backing it. Be patient. The book is getting out there. It will get to you, I promise. It might just take a second. First time fulfilling, but we're getting it done. There you go. Project Naosis, Reaper Destroyer. Go back, Type 1 by Sean Ahrendt, who is a co-host on this show and on this channel. Sean is on a hiatus right now. He'll be back when he's back. I'm not sure how long that's going to be, but well wishes out to him with what he's dealing with. Can't wait to get my copy of Reaper. Yes, sir. Yes, I can't wait for you guys to get it. Have you guys ever considered doing a Savage Dragon series read, or no interest? The only thing about Savage Dragon that I like is about issues 1 of the miniseries through issue 20 of the ongoing series. And after that, I don't really have a lot of good things to say about after that. So probably not, definitely not on this show. This is a show that's dedicated solely to Spawn and Spawn-esque characters in the universe on this show. But we have other shows, Appreciating Comic Book Art Live. We've gone over Savage Dragon books before, basically looking at the art. I do like the early stuff on Savage Dragon, so check out that show, look on the channel, go back in the history or the videos we got to see some of that stuff. But as far as an actual read through, probably not going to happen with Savage Dragon. I wouldn't mind doing something with the darkness, though. I've been thinking about trying to wrap and do something with the darkness, like we're doing with Spawn on, a darkness show, like we do the Spawn review. Maybe
they have the new series.
Yeah, the new series is coming out.
No, it is out. I think they have like 3 or 4.
Oh, it is out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize it was already out.
Yeah,
I knew the new Witchblade was out.
Debut. Oh no, you're right. Yes, Witchblade. Got it confused.
Okay, so it's the Witchblade. Oh yeah.
Yep. Witchblade was what just dropped recently. Yep.
Yeah. So the new Darkness will be coming out. Mark Silvestri is writing it. The art, it's not really my style, but might check it out. But the old Darkness, you want to talk about the original run with Silvestri, with Dale Keown, with Joe Benitez, with Mike Bouchard, like some fantastic runs on. If anybody's getting those Kickstarter omnibuses that they've been putting out, I think they're up to 3 or 4 now. I can't remember the one that just came, but maybe I might think about doing that sometime this year. We're doing a lot of new things with this channel going forward, including a new show that we're going to drop sometime in March. So we'll see how busy we can get. But guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us here on the Spawn Review this Monday. We appreciate you guys joining us here. The content, the chat has been great, as you always are. We will be back next Monday at 9 p.m. I think we're going to probably look at issue 100 and kind of continue this nostalgia trip of this era of Spawn, which I think you can't go wrong. You really can't. So join us here next Monday at 9. Paul, are you doing anything? You going to be on anybody's channel? What's going on with your channel? What do you want to do before we get out of here?
Yeah, we're just, building up this Fun My Comic. We're in preparation for episode 6, which is almost done. So all these books you're getting quick. So if you back the Fun My Comic, we're shipping out those books in March. This Saturday, I'm at WildCon, which is in Wildwood, New Jersey.
Nice.
And then I got Garden State Winterfest at the end of the month, which is in, not too sure, but it's in New Jersey. And then, we're slowly on that grind until March. And then we're back at it. Big conventions all day, pushing books.
That's what's up. That is what's up. And not a lot of people work as hard as Paul. I will say that. I would love to get into that lifestyle. We'll see what happens. Guys, until then, everybody be good. Like I say all the time, be good to each other. Take care of one another. And as always, picture me naked. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
What the hell are you? Spawn. You sent me to hell, Jason. I'm here to return the favor. I'm feeling strange, trapped in the grave. All alone, I rot in my own skin. So serious I say, a shoulder restraint. The perfect plain lays down my own name. Girls rising.